Okay, this is a walkthrough and some tips and tricks for SkydiveSim, our latest update. A lot of the controls are actually in the tutorial that will explain how to move in free fall, how to move in under canopy, but I am going to add to it, so I'll just go ahead and take you guys through the tutorial. I'm using the right joystick on the controller to turn to the left and right, and it will tell you to move around. You will use the left one. As soon as you move, it goes away. It also tells you that if you hit the left menu button, that's going to pause the game at any point. Doesn't matter what scene you're in, except for the menu, of course. And you can see what all the controls are in front of you in case you forget and just want to refresh yourself. We also have the audio in here now. That way, if you're in a multiplayer session, for example, and you just need to hear the other players louder or less, you can adjust this voice and adjust the volume of music and effects and everything else in case it's not running correctly for you. We also have the option of muting your mic and speaker from the other players in here. So I'm going to go ahead and continue and go into free fall. So it starts by giving you the neutral position. So it's telling you where the neutral position is. You put your hand there and it senses it and takes you to the next step.
Bring your hands closer to your body.
Keep in mind that we are only using these controllers to move you around in free fall and under canopy. So we don't really have any other inputs from your body when you're in free fall or a harness as if you were flying in the real world.
To move backwards, move your hands away from your body.
So we want to go backwards, we're pushing back.
To move right, move your hands to the left.
This is going to the right. If you pay attention to the clouds and the speed lines, you can actually see your movements in free fall.
To slow down in free fall.
To slow it down, we are talking about the idea of getting big and adding drag. And in order to speed up, we get small, bring our hands together, and we go down a lot faster.
To turn left.
For the turns, we are using just our wrist to turn slightly. Keep in mind, the more you turn your wrist, the faster it's going to turn.
To turn right, rotate your wrist to the right. Now, combine these movements to go through the rings.
Alright, the rings are really designed to be easy. If you see that you're missing the rings a lot, it's probably because you're giving it too much input or you're not calibrated right. I would say make sure that your headset is maybe restarted, but it should be fairly easy to get this unless you're just doing these huge movements.
Now reach down and pull
So
the red ribbon.
we have this ripcord here in front of you. That's for non-skydivers. We have the option that we've added that you can use this button, the grab button. The grab button can be used to just pull as if you're in the sky with an actual rig. So you would reach where the bottom of your container would be, where the hacky would be. You grab. When you grab, you're going to feel a little bit of a vibration. You
Hold
pull
your
and let
hands all the
go,
way up. Make sure
and
you're holding
it opens
your
up for
buttons.
you.
Now, let's try a slow turn to the right.
And the turns, here we go. If you're not holding the gripper buttons,
Now,
it's
turn
not
to
going
the
to do
left.
anything. So my controllers are moving, but you don't have any toggles. So once you hold the grippers, and that's when you're actually pulling on the toggles. Keep that in mind. Now it's setting up for neutral flight, and then the rings will come out. On these rings, the trick really is just relax and give it a little bit of input. If you give it too much input to one direction or the other, you're going to end up surging the canopy downward and you're going to end up under these circles, which means it will start you over to go through this part of the tutorial.
Now let's try landing maneuvers.
Again, it's just setting itself up,
Pull both
and
toggles to start your flare.
Make sure you're holding the grip buttons, of course, or it's not going to register.
Continue to chest position. Now bring your hands all the way down and hold to finish your flare.
And here we go. Full flare. Again, it sets itself up, it goes to full flight before the rings come out. And here we go with the rings. Again, very little input is needed. This is just to make you comfortable with the controls.
Start your flare to
And you can start your flare.
Great job. You're ready
And
to
land.
get out there and jump. Feel free to
So
come
that's
back
the
here.
tutorial right there. I recommend going through this a few times to get familiarized with the controls. I'm going to take you through one of these scenes here to show you a little bit more. Actually, let's go with the helicopter. It gives us a higher altitude. In fact, plane takes you the highest, helicopter the second, then the balloon jump, and of course space jump is whatever structure you're on. So once we're in the scene, I chose this because you can really see the speed lines and it helps you see the direction you're going. So one thing that's not in the tutorial right now, the left button, the bottom one, which is set X, if you hit that, you go into a free fly mode. You're sitting, and then you hit it again, you get out of it, and you don't go down as fast. That's very useful if you're in the air with somebody else and you're trying to catch up with them and they're a lot lower than you. If you notice in front of you, we have the triangle. As I'm turning, it's changing. That's showing me the direction of the wind. So right now it's coming from my right. Now it's coming ahead of me. That's when you're under canopy, and if you have the wind settings higher than 0, that's going to make a big difference on how you want to land and where you want to fly, where to set up for your landing. You can also track by bringing your hands back, just like you would in the real world. You can see I'm getting that forward motion. And I'm going to go ahead and pull so I can land this thing. Now, I did pull pretty low. I don't do that in real life, but it's a lot of fun doing that in here. You can see those targets in the water. Those are bonus targets. If you actually land in those, you're going to end up getting extra bonus scores, which when you look at the scoreboard and you see those numbers that are pretty high, that's how you're able to get that. I didn't really do a good pattern here, but I think I can make it to that. A little short, but not bad. Once you land, if you hit the left menu button, the end menu goes away. So now if you want to explore, for example, you want to go into this lighthouse and check out what's in it, you can do so. And then when you're ready to get out of the scene, just go ahead and hit the left menu button and you get your menu. You can select and come back out. I'm going to show you the options menu now. We have the single and multiplayer mode. If we do go to multiplayer and we want to, let's say, host a game, you just type in the name using the keyboard here, and you don't need a password if you're in a public room. You can create a public room. If you want it to be private and you and just your friends, you can go ahead and set it private, set a password, and give the password to your friends as well. And audio is pretty self-explanatory. AAD here, it's off by default because a lot of people have told us they don't want it to automatically deploy for them. They want to see how low they can go, and it's a game, so why not? Here's where you set your wind speed and direction. It goes up to 40, which is pretty aggressive. And here's the direction. So if you change these when you're in flight, you can actually see that wind that was showing 0 with the arrow to whatever you set in here. The beginner, intermediate, advanced, and expert canopies, they are all set up to get more and more aggressive. The expert one was set up with the help of a friend of mine who is an expert canopy pilot, and it's, to be honest, way too aggressive for me, but it's a lot of fun. And of course, if you're having any kind of issues, you can hit factory defaults. You notice the volume got up because I had lowered it for this video, but the defaults are a little bit higher. And this is the menu, the scoreboard that I was talking about. The numbers that you see on top, you can get those numbers by hitting the center of one of those specialty targets in the water. So that's it for now. I'm going to be putting out more videos. If you do have questions or you want to reach out to me, the chat on SkydiveSim.com, I'm normally on there. I'm also on the Facebook group for SkydiveSim Virtual Reality Skydiving. You can ask questions there and talk to other members. Feel free to reach out with feature requests or any questions you may have, and I'll be putting more videos out. Thank you so much for watching.